Hey guys, and this is going to be the first part of the Western Conference. In the last video, we finished the Eastern Conference, now we're going to the West. And today we're going to start with the Northwest Division. In the Northwest Division, we've got the Portland Trailblazers, the Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now we're going to start with the Portland Trailblazers. The thing about Portland is at the end of last year, before the season started, they decided to trade away Damian Lillard and fully commit to the tank. And in doing so, they also traded away Nurkic to get DeAndre Ayton. But now, ever since they traded for Ayton, he hasn't really performed. He's just been there as a center, putting up empty stats on a bad team. And even throughout this draft, they decided to draft Donovan Clingan, who's essentially going to be the replacement for Ayton when the time comes to trade him. Same thing with Grant and Robert Williams. I don't see that all three of them being on the team by the time the end of the year comes around. And also about the Portland Trailblazers is that think about also having Jeremy Grant still on the team. He's just taking up a large bunch of salary, not really providing much on the defensive end at this point in his career. He just wants out. You can just see it. Actually, you really don't know. He's just been in rumors for ever since he's been in Portland. Ever since Dame left, Robert Williams' health has always been in question. He barely played last year. And DeAndre Ayton should be on his way out from Portland after this year. By the time next year comes around, Donovan Clingan should have taken that starting spot. And this year is really going to show us Scoot Henderson and the progress he can take throughout the season. And hopefully, based on his rookie year, that's not who Scoot is. And I still have some type of hype around Scoot. And I'll still buy stock in Scoot. Also, Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe should be healthy this year. That was a big hit to them last year. Simon's only playing 46 games and Sharpe playing 32. Really helps his team when they are healthy and help. They're not going to make any noise. It's realistic here. But maybe they could get Cooper Flag and help trade away Grant when the time comes. Moving on, we have the Utah Jazz. Good for Lauri fucking Markkanen, man. Lauri survived another year of trade rumors, man. And honestly, it looks like this year there'll be zero trade rumors because they decided to sign him at the very last day, so that there will be no way they can trade him until the season is over, which is really good. That means during the trade deadline, there should be no Lauri Markkanen rumors until the next offseason. But does not make him safe because during the offseason, they could always trade him. And also going into it, we know that how good Lauri is as off-ball scorer. He doesn't need to put the ball on the ground. He doesn't really need to create his own shot. He just knows where to be at the right times to get his buckets to lead. Lauri just knows when and where to be on the court in order to get his buckets. It really is an effective way to score. He doesn't need to put the ball on the ground. All the time he does is drive to the rim, try to dunk on someone. It's a great way of scoring. Any team will really need Lauri on their team to be effective. And having Lauri just extends the lifeline of every team right now because he is in his mid-20s and any championship contender could use a guy like Lauri Markkanen. Also, Lauri last year only played 55 games, putting up 23 points per game, 48% from the field, 39.9% from three, and 89.9% from the free throw. He was so close to a 50-40-90 year. Maybe play a little more games, he probably would have hit it. And Lauri Markkanen, phenomenal player. Also, the Walker Kessler is a big question mark for this team, just off the chance that last year he got benched really early on, only starting 22 games out of the 56 that he played, which was really surprising because I thought Walker Kessler was going to be one of the cornerstones of that team. But Danny Ainge thinks otherwise, especially him being a lot of rumors. Even to this day, every day we hear more reports about Walker Kessler might be traded, but Danny Ainge was a high price, 3 to 4 first-round picks, which is really excessive for a guy who we don't really value as much, putting him on the bench for the majority of the year. Also, Clarkson being 32 years old should be on the up and up. It should be out the team soon because they also drafted Cody Williams, and that should be the reason he should take that starting spot from Jordan Clarkson to really extend the lifeline of this franchise because everyone's in the mid-20s except for Clarkson, who is essentially still one of the best scorers on that team. He should be moved to a championship contender or just a relatively good playoff team. And John Collins is on the team. I mean, there's not much to say. He's kind of just the same athletic on the decline of his career. Ever since the year in 2021, he's never been able to replicate that year. And it's just unfortunate at the end of the day. And I also forgot to mention how great of a rookie year Keontae George had. Keontae was a really underlying rookie last year, no one really talked about. Was a really great scorer, could put the ball in the rim when the Jazz needed it the most. But yeah, that's enough for the Jazz. Moving on to the three heavy hitters in the Western Conference. Not even this division, in the Western Conference. Starting out with the Denver Nuggets. And now the Denver Nuggets, we know the best player in the league, Nikola Jokic is on this team. But also the problem with the Nuggets this year, they have got significantly worse. Not only off the fact that they just lost KCP, they also decided to add Russell fucking Westbrook to a team that needed more shooting and more scoring rather than a really hyper athletic turtle. It's surprising to me. And throughout the preseason, I take it with a grain of salt, but he did show some flashes, I guess, being an all-ball scorer, which Westbrook isn't bad at. He just can't hit his shots, which Nuggets really needed. And Jamal Murray last year coming off a really bad year. No, well, a really great season. It's a bad playoff and Olympic run, which doesn't really give me any indicator that he'll be much better throughout this year either. Losing KCP really hurts their defense and their shooting. Adding Westbrook doesn't help either of those. And the problem with the Nuggets is that they've always been stingy with their money, especially with the report came out that they don't want to pay Aaron Gordon to $30 million. So he might walk for free. KCP walked for free. Bruce Brown walked the year before. It's clearly obvious the Nuggets aren't willing to sacrifice money in order to win more championships. And it's unfortunate because MPJ also got the max. And I would assume that Aaron Gordon is a more valuable player than MPJ on that team, because the thing about MPJ is that he only provides his shooting and his length. When Aaron Gordon, when he's not scoring the ball, he's one of the best defenders on that team, the best rebounder on that team, the most athletic person on that team, and provides a lot more on the offensive defensive end outside of scoring on than MPJ. And also, a main problem with the Nuggets is that they don't get to the free throw line that often. Why I say that is because Jamal Murray averages 2 free throws per game, MPG averages 1, Aaron Gordon averages 3, and Jokic is the one that averages 10, which is really unfortunate because they need to get the line more. And the problem with not having free throw lines, people who get to the line a lot, means less foul calls, less opportunities at the rim, means they rely a lot on the jump shooting, and also we expect Zeke Naji and Peyton Watson and Christian Braun to really step up for this team, because their bench is really weak without these three. If these three don't provide anything, especially on the offense or defensive end, and just provide any type of upskill compared to last year, the Nuggets should be in a decent spot, but they might not finish top 3 in the West this year. Off of the simple fact they've lost a lot, haven't really gained much. They have an aging DeAndre Jordan on the bench, which means Jokic doesn't really have a backup. Christian Braun needs to shoot the ball better, especially once he falls into that KCP spot. He is more of a shot creator more than KCP is, but it's just not looking good for the Nuggets. I'm not gonna lie. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been the Cinderella story of last year, I would say. No one really thought that the Gobert and Cat duo would work together, but they did in the conference finals. And we all came into the season thinking they drafted Rob Dillingham throughout the draft. And we thought, you know what, this Timberwolves team could really put in the work and really show us, you know what, we've gotten better. We can make it past the conference finals and make the finals. Well, they said fuck all that like a month ago and said, you know what, let's just trade away Karl-Anthony Towns with Julius Randle. Caught everyone by surprise, but does that really help anything? Yes, it does. It helps one thing. They had a shooting. And Dante DiVincenzo. And the thing about adding Dante DiVincenzo means their bench depth have gotten slightly better with a little more shooting. But on the negative side of things, they don't have shooting in that starting lineup. And Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Gobert are not positive 3-point shooters on a night-to-night basis. On night-to-night basis, Randle and Ant are really, really high volume shooters depending on some games, which is not really good because they aren't volume makers. And obviously, Gobert can't make a layup. McDaniels could make corner threes occasionally, and Mike Conley is aging, which is why I believe that's why they drafted Rob Dillingham. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about the Timberwolves team. I don't know how Ant and Randle are going to mesh together. Dante looks like he's feeling himself out there, look like Nick Briz. And I do see some upside in their bench. Obviously, Naz Reid. Naz Reid is always going to be the biggest W on this team. The best 6-man in the league. One of the best bigs in the league who isn't like a superstar all-star caliber player. He can really find his own. Nikhil is going to step up when he needs to. It's just outside of those two and Dante and Rob, they do have a good bench, good shooting off the bench, good scoring off the bench. It's just the starters. I don't know how they're going to mesh together. I really don't. We're just going to have to wait and see. Opening night is tomorrow. By the time you guys see this video, it should be out by tomorrow. By Monday, the day before opening night. And yeah, I really hope it all goes well for the Timberwolves. Moving on to probably going to be the best team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, OKC Thunder are just always going to be an up and up, honestly. Ever since they traded away Russell Westbrook, they made the playoffs in 2020. They tanked for 21-22. and now 20 and 23 and 24 they were the number one seed. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is probably a top five player in this league. And it's just surprising how good this OKC team became in such a short time. And next year won't be any different. Well, this season, they added Caruso and Hartenstein, which helps every single problem they had throughout last year. Main thing being their defense and their shooting. Getting rid of Giddey, another problem that they solved. Having a big next to Chet having a backup big next to him being Hartenstein, and Caruso being in the perimeter with Shea really puts this OKC team above everyone else in the West. They could possibly win 65, mid 60. They're definitely be a 60-win team this year. Last year, winning 57, and they've only gotten better. J Dell will take a step this year. Chet will take a step after his rookie year, being a better rim protector and a better rebounder that he needs to be, a better shooter on a game-to-game basis, and realize that he's 7 foot and should adapt to the basket a lot more instead of just doing pick and pops. Hartenstein will also be a really helpful need because it just helps a lot more plate presence, helps with rebounding, leaves some leeway with Chet, so not all the responsibility be on him. Having a 6'6" power forward like last year next to him, which all rebounding falls onto him. And Shea is going to do Shea things, MVP numbers, MVP candidate, dropping 30 points per game, being a decent defender, holding his own. But Shea's main problem is going to be his passing and playmaking. Last year, his passing was really bad. His playmaking was actually pretty bad too. There's a lot of times throughout the playoffs against the Mavs, and the Mavs try to force him to pass the ball. Couldn't make the right reads. Couldn't really just, if it wasn't scoring the ball, no one else was getting the ball. It just wasn't going well for Shea. Shea needs to be a better passer and playmaker. That's the only problem in his game and his three-point shooting. He's not really a great three-point shooter. He's good enough to hit when he's open, but on a game-to-game basis, you live with him shooting threes and not mid-ranges. Also, their bench unit being Aaron Wiggins, Casey Wallace, and Isaiah Joe being main spark plugs for this team is really, really scary. And last year, they showed us that they are great role players and only going to get better, especially how young Casey Wallace, Isaiah Jones, and Wiggins are, all either low 20s or mid 20 players, all also on team-friendly deals. It's really, really, really positive for this OKC team. And coming into next year, Nikola Topic should be healthy. They drafted him this year during the lottery. And also, the Clippers being unknown how good they're going to be and how long Kawhi is going to be out means that the Clippers pick will fall to the Thunder, which the fact that Thunder will get better next year and will be in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, depending how bad the Clippers are, really shows to a testament of how good Sam Presti is the GM and really playing for the future. Treating away Paul George for all those picks is really going to pay off, it looks like. That being said, OKC will be the best team in the West. Hey guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's the end of the video. That's me doing the first part of the West. There's 2 more to go. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.